Hey, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us for In the Know with the Bullioness. I'm the Bullioness, Dawn Maree, and we just decided to have an impromptu call to share some really valuable information with the team. I have on the line with me Tony Hubbard, my sponsor and first filled gold at 7K Metals, and we're going to discuss today the power of the three-way call. Are you there, Tony?
Yes, I'm on the line.
Hey, Tony. Glad you could join us. And I know this is a most important information. So, first of all, can you explain to us the importance or the power of the three-way call? Why is it so important?
Absolutely, Don. One of the most effective tools that any networker can use if they're going to build a business and teach other people on their team how to build a business. Because as we know through reading the book Go Pro by Eric Worre, it's not about what works, it's about what duplicates, is utilizing what is called a three-way call. And a three-way call it's a valuable tool that doesn't take up very much time, and it helps the new person to be trained on the language and the posture that they're going to need in order to be successful in the business.
I like to call it the fast track because it gives the person that's introducing the new prospect a way to hear all the answers and get that information. And many times the new person, the prospect, is going to ask questions that the new team member may have never even thought, and so they would have never got those answers unless it was through a three-way call. So it's so powerful. So if I want to set up a three-way call with you, Tony, is there something I need to do, any kind of qualifiers to set that up with you?
Oh, absolutely. One of the first things I always encourage my new team leaders and even seasoned veterans that are on our team is to make sure that your prospect has been exposed to something in the business, okay? Make sure they've been exposed to something, okay? And then the second thing is to make sure that before they put that prospect on the line with me is that I've had proper notification that a three-way call may be taking place to make sure I'm available within the next 30 minutes, within the next hour, and to make sure that they've properly edified the person they're going to put on the call. Like an example for myself, you want to let your prospect know that if they have a few questions, that, hey, I'm very fortunate that I'm working with one of the top leaders in the company. This gentleman has been one of the founding members of the company, has had a lot of success all across the nation. And when I put that person on the line, make sure you ask him those questions. So the two major qualifiers before my new rep or a seasoned rep puts me on the line for a three-way call is, number one, make sure that the prospect has been exposed to something, a video, a presentation, or something of that nature, because a three-way call is not a presentation call. And number two, make sure that person has done proper edification of the person they put them on the line with.
That's so important. And I think when you're doing a three-way call, whether they call, I would recommend that they call the prospect first, right? Make sure that that person is there before they waste the time to get you on the line, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, so they call the prospect first, and they put the prospect on hold, and they bring you in. Well, before they merge that call, they have private time with you. So they could really quickly tell you, okay, this person's interest is building an income. This person is a pastor of a church, or this person has created a huge network before. So give Tony as much information as you can, like very quickly, or call him ahead of time or text him ahead of time and give him a little information too. Is that helpful?
Oh, absolutely. The more information I know, as far as maybe a short bio or quick bio, the more effective I can be as far as helping you move that person to action.
Excellent. That way we know, are they buyers, are they builders? Okay, so now we know there's going to be an edification when they introduce you to the person. They need to introduce the person to you and you to the person, and they need to edify both. and we'll make sure that everyone feels comfortable on what to say about the upline support, and have the questions ready. Sometimes the prospect is going to be shy. They may even feel like this is some kind of ambush. So I always tell everyone, if you're going to set up a three-way call, make sure that they realize the purpose of the three-way call is to answer the questions. Is there anything else, Tony, that the rep should mention to the prospects to make them at ease so they don't think that this is going to be a hard sell or something?
Oh, absolutely. Just let them know that, hey, whatever questions they may ask, they may have, just let the prospect know. Say, listen, those are some excellent questions, and I'm very fortunate to be working with one of the top leaders in the company. He's very busy, but let me see if I can get him on the line or get her on the line. And when I get them on the line, feel free to ask them those questions. Okay, and I always say feel free to ask them those questions. It gets the prospect at ease to let them know that this is not some kind of formal setting, and it's not something like a hard close.
And sometimes I have found in my experience that you have a prospect on the line and you're not able to move them forward, and they're kind of stuck. And so a three-way call would really be good, but yet the prospect doesn't seem to be very open to it. They're hesitant. So one of the things I've always said is it's really important. I think you told me this, Tony, and so you're much more eloquent in how you say it. But basically, it's important that you know who you're going to be partnering with. I think it's important that you meet one of the leaders of the company, even if you don't have any questions, just to know where the company's, been, where it's going, the vision. Would that be true?
Oh, absolutely. And on edification, I remember when I first became a part of this industry about 20 years ago, I remember going to a training session, and they said the edification should be on the line as if they, walk on water and glow in the dark. I mean, nothing quite that dramatic, but basically they were saying you want to share enough information so that the new prospect has a level of respect for the person that you're going to put them on the line with. Because what I found to be true is this. What is true is that your prospect, if they know you for any length of time, there's a certain level of trust with you and the prospect. But with the person you're going to put them on the line with, if they're properly edified, there's a certain amount of respect that they have for the person that they've edified. All right, so that's why the three-way call is so proper and so effective. If it's done right, the what is called the triangle of the three-way call that makes it work right is this. There's trust between you and the prospect, and there's a certain level of respect for you as the person that's going to do the three-way call if the edification is done correctly.
So once the introductions and edification are done, then what should the team rep do once you start talking to the prospect?
And the team rep should be quiet at that time. Oftentimes, tell individuals you should basically once you did the introduction as far as the prospect to your success coach and your success coach to your prospect, then what you want to do to make sure that you don't intervene, that you don't jump in, mute out your line and let the conversation between your success coach and the prospect takes place. And if it's done correctly, normally it's a 3 to 5 minute conversation.
Yeah, so it's going to be fast. And when that's done, I encourage everyone, don't hang up when your success coach hangs up. Tell your prospect, stay on the line, thank your success coach for their time, and then you can watch, depending on what kind of phone you have, your success coach either hangs up or you just tap the drop, and then you're on privately, and then you can continue on and have a quick recap, and then maybe steps to closing if that's appropriate. Any other tips that you would recommend at that point when they're on the call with the prospect after the three-way call?
No, just what you just recommended, Don. Like I said, normally when I finish, I tell the new person that may have just come on board and a prospect, once I hang up, then whatever I recommended for that person, go in that same direction. So if I told that person, okay, look like you're ready to get started, make sure you get back with Dawn, and she'll show you how simple it is, and that way you can get a membership and go ahead and get started. So whatever I recommend, maybe I recommend that, hey, sound like you need to get a little bit more information, get with Dawn and she can invite you out to the next presentation. So whatever is recommended by the expert, once the expert hangs up, that's what you need to be doing.
And that's something really important to know, is that the success coach is not going to do a hard close. They're just there. Their purpose is edification, information, and to move them along. And the breakdown as a summary, when you do your three-way call, that they must have already seen, they must have already been exposed to the 7K Metals program. However you've done that, taken them to the website, sent them through Rapid Funnel. They understand that. They have questions. There should never be someone that's calling in that has not seen it. So as Zach says in associate training, you are to be the commercial and let the website be the show. They've already went through that. Now it's time to do the three-way call and move them along. Well, Tony, I thank you so much, Tony. I think this is really good. And what kind of goals should one have? So if we're trying to actively build and we're serious about this, how many do you recommend each week?
If a person is actively building, you should be looking at doing 5 to 10 of these a week, minimum. And because the more of these you do, the more exposures and the higher your chances are on more people coming on board on your team. So if you're actually building 5 to 10 of these a week, I've seen people do as many as 20 to 30 a week. But if you're actually building, minimum 5 to 10 a week.
Words of wisdom from Tony Hubbard. All right, Tony, thank you for your time. And we hope that this will spur everybody to be able to just start utilizing this most powerful tool and may it convert to new enrollments. Any final tips?
Absolutely. No, the bottom line is this here. Make sure that every single week you're doing what is called IPA, which is income producing activity. And for those individuals that continually do that and control what they can control, my promise to each and every one of you is that success will not elude you.
Thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe to the channel and click that notification bell so you are going to be one of the very first to be notified immediately after each and every upload. Thank you for your support. You are appreciated.